Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Echo Knight. In the last part we reached the crew quarters, and let's see what's going on down here.
The combination to the numeric lock should be written in locker 4. We won't be able to escape in time. We will all die.
My favorite voice in the game, I don't know why. Now this puzzle takes some trial and error, I'll be frank, at the end of the day. Because there are 6 lockers here, numbered 1 through 6. No matter what you try, at first, numbers 6 through 3 will not open, but numbers 1 and 2 will. Upon you opening numbers 1 and 2, locker 3 will also be able to be opened. What this comes down to is you can have 3 lockers open at a time, but only when their numbers add up to each other. So because I now have numbers 1 and 3 open, I can open number 4, which is what you actually need to do in order to succeed.
It opened. The combination is 1, 6, 8, 9. I must hurry.
So, for instance, you could have number 2 and 3 open and be able to open number 5 and things like that. 2 and 4 for 6. And we want to keep in mind that combination for later. 1, 6, 8, 9. What the hell was that? Oh, Jesus! If you want to go what that pause is for, I was not expecting him to show up here. I've had playthroughs where he just never shows up, period. So I was surprised about that. Also, I was wrong last part. Ghosts in this game are instant kill, I believe, only very rarely and under certain circumstances. More or less all of them will just do straight up damage to you. Also, this final ghost is a bit different in that he will actively try to chase you through the rooms. He can clip through the walls, so to speak. So, be careful of him. At least, I think he can only chase you through certain areas at a time.
Why won't it open? We have to hurry, or that demon will. 1, 6, 8, 9. The numbers should be right.
Well, good news, guy. They are the right numbers, just in the wrong order. Now, this took me a while to figure out my first playthrough, but the note he's looking at is actually upside down. It's not 1, 6, 8, 9. It's 6, 8, 9, 1. So close, but so far.
It opened. It finally opened. I must hurry.
Also, I don't know why, the doors all open and close with the same sound effects in this game, but it's probably one of my favorite sound effects in the game. There's just something about the crunchiness of it that's the right amount of crunch for me to go, ooh, yes, that feels good. I don't know why that light makes a ka-chink sound like it's a slot machine. Dear God, that's hilarious to me. Also, his goal was just to unblock the door here, and this is actually a pretty interesting door. We'll be going through it for plot stuff later on anyway. But when you enter it, we find ourselves back in a familiar place. We are all the way back near the start of the game. In particular, we went down one stairwell to reach the first residential area. The other one leads to here. We're back at the bridge. I love the Orpheus's level design in that regard. I love how it all loops together in a very organic way, by and large. Either way, let's grab that astral piece. Not for nothing, this king is easily the most persistent ghost in the game. And I think he will try to actively follow me in here, which is why I am going right after the light switch. This is the power room for the entirety of the Orpheus. Any generator you see with a light on indicates a particular region of the ship we've been to that has the power on there. With that said, just this one machine doesn't have its main light on, so now we've restored power to the crew quarters of the ship, meaning, I think barring this room, obviously, because lights kind of went broke, we can now progress in here no problem. I think there is a way to avoid that particular ghost encounter. Maybe it's just going into the power room outright. I don't quite remember. Either way, thankfully with that now done, the king won't be bothering us too much. For the rest of the game, really. By and large, once you get through certain parts of the game, certain other threats become even less of threats.
Finally, the light is on.
Everyone will be okay now.
What's that? Once you progress through a certain part of the game, earlier parts of the game seem easier? You don't say. Either way, because we got the lights back on, the guy who took the second shift patrolling this particular hallway has now moved on. No, not for nothing. One very minor, super minor thing that Echo Knight 2, I think, made easier for players in terms of, like, keeping note of who they've met and helped passed on. In the journal that is the equivalent to the organizer in Echo Knight 2, they actively keep track of the ghosts you've talked to in blue and red. One color represents those you've helped, or I think it may have been green, actually, not blue. Either way, one color represents those who are dead but are still ghosts. The other represents those you've helped move on and have gotten an astral piece from. Also, the two bathrooms on this particular floor both have items. One has a claim ticket. The other one, I think, has a curing potion somewhere in it. Yeah, right here. Okay. This is going to sound really stupid. My air conditioning was just on. It just shut off. And for some reason, my brain thought that was the game. Oh, man. Not for nothing. I criticize this game's lack of even, like, what's the word? Diegetic ambience, I believe, is the term for that. But the pure silence has its own workings and effects to the game setting. And I think it does work in a lot of regards. I just wish there was a bit more ambience in the background. Even if it was just like, here's the sound of the water moving against the ship. Here's the sound of the air conditioning unit in the area. I don't need outright music, although I wouldn't mind if like a fully cleared area had at least some sort of lower key theme. I think it's probably the best way to explain what I was talking about a few parts ago. And in here we have our next little ghost to talk to. Once I get the lights on, because I don't want that king saying, surprise! How you doing down here?
What's that sound? It's coming from the control room. The demons. Someone, please, stop it.
Alright, we'll take care of that in a moment, guy. I know what it's like to not be able to take a nap. My pre-work naps I do for my part-time night shift. That's about what I have to do, really. Small noises just make me go, huh? Why am I awake? Also, there's another curing potion in here in case you need it. Honestly, at this point in the game, you probably have enough that you never need to worry about a thing, really. Either way, let's go check over the room next door to this one to see what that guy's talking about. I can hear sounds coming from within this room. It sounds like a telegraph. Now, this is where we have to keep in mind information we learned from the probationer who was studying the telegraph the last part. We got that document from him that told us to never use one particular frequency on the radio, in particular BA01. We need to set this to that. Or no, BA10, my bad, had the two numbers reversed there. Next, we need to use the telegraph itself. In particular, you might notice next to the actual little bit we need to use, a name is scrolled in. In fact, it's Krea's name. We need to input Krea's name in Morse code, which is long, short, long, short, short, long, short, 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 long.
My sister Krea has been waiting a long time. This is a music box that my sister gave me.
You know, sometimes those little transition scenes have so little music it almost feels like it got copyright claimed and muted out of it. But no, there's just straight up nothing there. Now, if you don't know Morse code, don't worry. If you look to the right of that table with the actual Morse code maker thingy, I'm not sure the actual name, transmitter, I guess, there is a letter to code dictionary on another billboard. I just didn't show it off because I knew the solution off the top of my head. With that, welcome to the cathedral. Our main goal here is to reach this piano. How we need to use this, though, is dictated by the very music box we were just given. Investigate it for... We need to make that exact tune in this piano, and this is a bit of trial and error if you don't know music, which guess what? I don't. In the case you make the wrong key press, you're automatically thrown out of it. So if you just remember which keys you've pressed in what order and it's worked for you, you'll get through this no problem. Obviously, people who have pitch perfect or are actual musicians will do better here. I don't, so it's just trial and error for me. Echo Knight 2 has a puzzle somewhat like this where you have to write down sheet music, and I think that's a little worse, though. I almost don't want to talk over this song, but screw it. This is a really good song. Echo Knight's soundtrack I've called good, and I think it generally is. There are a few songs that get goofy, namely the battle theme with the ghosts, quote-unquote, when you have to use an item on the harmful ghosts to make them finally rest. But by and large, the actual music we encounter throughout the game is real good. I love the casino theme. I love the credits theme. I love the song we just heard. My favorite song probably belongs to certain ones we hear in some of the flashbacks, though. There's some real good, like, cutscene music in this game, by and large. And now we're welcome to the screensaver, the endless staircase. Before there was Silent Hill 2, there was Echo Knight. And just like Silent Hill 2, this isn't looping in any regard. It's just really long. That's probably my favorite behind-the-scenes detail about Silent Hill 2. Just the camera view of how long the staircase actually is in that one part of that game. Love Silent Hill 2. Alright, what we got in here? Oh, a prison beneath a church. Probably more common than I'd like to think it is. Oh, well. And you are? What do you want? You came with instructions from my grandfather, right? I don't care anymore. Just get it over with and kill me now. Kreia, I take it, then. I believe your brother wanted me to play this for you. This music. Where did you get that music box? My brother gave that to you? What? Who are you? The blue stone. You were the one on the train. Finally we meet again. What happened to him? The one that handed me the stone? It's okay. I trust you. I know my brother wouldn't have given that to just anyone. I have to apologize to you. The blue stone fragment was stolen by my grandfather. I've done a lot of research on the two stones. You need that blue stone fragment in order to destroy the red stone. I promise, I will retrieve that blue stone fragment. Even if I must exchange it for my life. You shouldn't stay here long. Someone might come. If by chance you come across my brother again, please, give him this. I'll see you again. Well then, Mr. Little Brother in the room with us, I believe Kreia wanted you to have this.
Did you meet my sister? My sister and you have met. Destiny has taken another course.
That's all? No further parting words? Okay. You had one of the plates the entire time? Guess you wanted us to see that. Fine. Arthur could have just been like, yeah, my son has it, I think they would be. Sounds about right.
It's quiet. Now I can finally rest.
I think that kid is Arthur's kid. Honestly, this game's main plot line is honestly very simple to piece together as long as you pay attention, like, to all the dialogue and shit. But some of the inter-character relationships are a bit harder to piece together in my experience. Partially because very few of them actually exist outside of the Rockwell family. Echo Knight 2 makes all the characters and ghosts that you talk to part of the main plot line in some regard.
You've come again.
Personally speaking, I prefer that. But I know some people prefer the more disconnected mini-story bits that, like, Echo Knight 1 and Beyond have, for instance. In a way, it's a kind of a mirror of the arguments for or against Arkham City versus Arkham Asylum. Some people like the more close-together nature of Asylum versus the more open nature of City and how they handle side quests and all that. Personally speaking, as a casual experience, I prefer City, but as a narrative experience, barring the final boss, of course, I prefer Arkham Asylum, for instance. I think the best way I can summarize my thoughts on the two is I think Echo Knight 2 is a better narrative. This is a better level design area, so to speak. Definitely less annoying in certain regards, because the keys immediately come to mind in Echo Knight 2. Alright, and right here we have a door back to the passenger floor, because our time on the bottom crew deck, for now, is completely finished. Now, I believe we have 3 of the 4 plates, and there's one ghost we still haven't let pass on that we've talked to before, so we want to head back to the kitchen. Because you might remember there was one particular sailor's ghost from the ship's crew that wanted us to head down to the crew deck. So let's see if he has the final one for us. This is probably a backtrack I could have at least somewhat cut out, but compared to at least the trek from the pool area to here, I think it's minor enough that it's worth keeping in the long run. Plus it allows you to see that shortcut to the passenger floor. In fact, it's the only way up here.
Those guys. They finally left. Thank you. Now I will be able to rest in peace.
Slew it right back at you, soldier. Even though you're not a soldier, probably. And not only does he give us his astral piece, but the final of the 4 plates that we need. And it's at this point I recommend saving because, frankly speaking, if... I tend to save about 4 times through the game. The first time that I'm in the doctor's office, right before the casino, if I do the casino on a playthrough, right now, and then right before the final area. Because I feel in terms of how much we've done, this is a very good checkpoint for a save point. Not that the amount of times you've saved really matters in this game compared to, say, Resident Evil for rankings.
All of the plates have been inserted.
Use the plates.
Come, use the plates.
None of the plates have been inserted, Arthur. I don't know what you're talking about. Thankfully, it's not that hard to put the plates into the actual holes because all of the plates have a unique shape that's indicated in the little impression that they need to be placed in. Thankfully, this isn't a thing if you get it wrong, you take damage or it causes an enemy to spawn like it would in, say, a Resident Evil game. This is just straight up shape recognition and nothing else.
We shall excuse ourselves now. Please, seal that stone forever.
Got it, Arthur. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 8, we're going to be entering, I'm assuming this is called like the high-class suites, where a certain man might be awaiting us. See you guys then.